Yo, I'm Hellhound, and you're watching the Horror and Metal channel. There's a lot of tag videos as well as some other type of videos I need to do. I need to do Sean Ershen's top 10 horror franchise tag, which didn't start out as a tag, but it became a tag, which is definitely a video I've been kind of meaning to do as well. But I'm going to really put a lot into that video. I don't want to half-ass it, so there might be a while on that one. And there's also he's holding a contest. I have to do my contest entry as well, so I need to do my submission for that. But anyway, this is going to be WackJob's Clown Tag. WackJob, of course, is from Random Horror, so check out that channel if you haven't already. Subscribe. I was tagged by Sean Erschen, so check out that channel as well if you haven't already. I think the idea of a killer clown is a great. It seems like a very obvious choice for horror films, but honestly, there's not a lot of great ones. And by that I mean human clowns, an actual human serial killer disguised as a clown. And most of the ones I've seen, like fitting that bill, are kind of crap. So there's been, what was it, Mr. Jingles, and I guess Clown, which Eli Roth had something to do. I think that one was okay, if I remember correctly. Then there was one called Sick, Serial Insane Clown Killer. There was that one with that British movie, the British talking clown. I forgot what his name was, but he goes to a kid's birthday party and he dies by accident, and then he comes back as a zombie clown. There's not very many good killer clown movies. But yeah, Killer Clowns of Outer Space don't count because those are aliens, and It doesn't count because that's a demon or whatever, some entity disguised as a clown. I'm talking about human killer clown movies. There needs to be more good ones. And of course, recently there was Terrifier, which I liked, but we'll get to that in a minute. But anyway, let's go and begin the tag. Question number 1: what is your favorite clown movie? Well, again, I'm Killer Clowns. I'm going to go with Clownhouse, directed by Victor Salva. That actually is a good movie featuring humans, actual humans disguised as clowns, killing people. Very dark, very suspenseful, very scary, kind of cheesy in some ways, but it's taken pretty seriously. And of course, it's plagued by the whole controversy involving Victor Salva and the young star Nathan Forrest Winters, which yes, drags the movie down a whole lot and does make it even harder to watch than it already is. So I won't get into that. Look it up if you're interested. But I'd say my favorite horror movie featuring killer clowns is Clownhouse, because it's actual killer clowns. As much as I love It and Killer Clowns from Outer Space, I want to see more human serial killer clowns. Sorry about my iPad. I know it's moving around a lot. I'm trying to hold it still. But question number 2: are you scared of clowns? Absolutely not. And if so, why? I'm not. And honestly, I know that there are actual people out there who really do suffer from coulrophobia, but I feel like it's becoming kind of a fad. Like, I was in a band with this guy who went on and on about how he's afraid of clowns. I told him I was going to get an evil clown tattooed. He's like, no, don't do that. And he loved talking about his fear of clowns. It was almost like he was just trying to be trendy and just using it as a shtick. I was like, really, you're going to be afraid of a tattoo? So needless to say, I had a clown mask, which I terrorized him with all the time. But in my mind, I didn't believe he was actually afraid of clowns. Again, I thought he was just kind of using it as a shtick. But if I actually believed he was legitimately had coulrophobia, I probably would have still done it anyway, but, whatever. He was a dick. He deserved it, regardless. But anyway, yeah, I know some people actually do suffer from that fear, but I'm not one of them, and I think it's just kind of overused. Now, I do think that, I will say this, I think evil clowns aren't scary because they're so obvious. Like, well, of course they're going to be scary. They're evil, and I do think happy clowns are creepy. I'm not scared of them by any means, but I think they are kind of creepy, like, especially if they don't talk much. It's like, what are they smiling about? What are they so happy? What did they just do? What are they thinking? And a lot of times, real life clowns are usually really depressed and tormented people with, harsh backgrounds. Unfortunately, it's the sad, unpleasant, but it's the truth, But and there have been real life killer clowns like John Wayne Gacy, aka Pogo the Clown, who, if you don't know who he is, look him up. His bizarre, brutal crimes were just nothing short of breathtaking. But anyway, no, I'm not afraid of clowns. Question number 3: Curry or Skarsgård? Who's the better Pennywise? It depends on how you look at it. I love Tim Curry. Absolutely love the guy, and his performance as Pennywise is very entertaining and very fun and just very iconic and awesome. However, I think Bill Skarsgård, I think it was a lot closer to the book overall. It was far scarier. Again, clowns don't scare me, and I don't really find either one of them particularly scary, but if I had to pick, I'd definitely say Skarsgård's performance was scarier. Tim Curry was probably scary at the time, but even when I first saw it, when it was relatively new, probably just a couple years old, if that, I didn't really find it particularly scary. I think it was kind of more, again, the coulrophobia, more the people's general fear of clowns that makes them so scary, and not really, not really anything in the movie itself. But yeah, the new It was as far close to the book. It actually was pretty scary. Didn't scare me, and I'm not trying to sound like a tough guy or anything, but it had me on edge a little bit. I was getting kind of some creeped out feeling. This is good. I love that feeling. So if a movie does that, it's done its job well. But I think it depends on how you look at it. I love them both for different reasons. Skarsgård's scarier. Tim Curry's probably more fun to watch, and I like him as an actor better overall. I'm not really familiar with much of Skarsgård's other work, and Tim Curry makes everything great. But anyway, yeah, depends on how you look at it. I love them both. Question number 4. Who ruined clowns for you? John Wayne Gacy, Pogo the Clown, like I mentioned earlier, or Stephen King? Well, no one did. I think Killer Clowns, Evil Clowns is a great idea that needs to be done more in movies, like actual killer clowns, like I said. I think it has a lot of possibilities. It's one of those things you'd think would have been done a lot and done very well, but it really hasn't. Kind of like Halloween in horror movies. That's another thing that hasn't really been done a whole lot, despite popular belief. Most people will say, "Oh, of course it has," and you really think about it, like, wait, no, it actually hasn't. You'd think it would, but it hasn't. Killer Clowns would be great. But yeah, nobody ruined clowns for me, and nobody ever will. I love clowns. I think they're awesome. Um, Question number 5. Who is scariest, Pennywise or Art? Art the Clown from the movie Terrifier, which again is very brutal and shocking, pretty much for the sake of being brutal and shocking, but highly entertaining. I really enjoyed it. I think it's one of the more underrated movies in the recent era, and it's, kind of a fun movie, though at the same time being pretty horrific, and they really pushed the envelope. It was surprising a movie like that could be made today. It kind of had the feel of something like Bloodsucking Freaks, and pretty cheap quality to it, and some fake-looking effects, but, it was definitely tried really hard to be, shocking. He didn't worry about offending anybody, which I respect. But anyway, it depends how you look at it. Art the Clown's obviously more realistic. That can happen. Somebody can dress as a clown, do all these horrible, brutal, shocking things. He had some unrealistic traits about him, but Pennywise is purely fictional and fantasy. But in the context, if Pennywise was real, I think that'd be a scary idea. An entity that can take hold of your fears and feed on your fears, and he eats children, and he can become anything you're scared of, and he can take many different forms. I think overall it's a scarier concept. The fact that Art the Clown can really happen, maybe not quite like that, but something like that could happen. That's kind of makes it pretty scarier in and of itself, in a way. But I think the idea of Pennywise, if they were both real, I think Pennywise would be scarier overall. Art probably does more brutal and horrific things, but the fact that Pennywise kills kids, I think that's bad enough. But anyway, let's move on. Question number 6: Nicholson or Ledger? Who is the better Joker? Oh man, I could be here all day. Honestly, it's another situation with Curry and Skarsgård. I love them both in different reasons. They're both totally different Jokers, they're both true to the character in a lot of respects, but they both kind of do their own thing. I'm going to say Nicholson overall by a hair. I know I'm in the minority. Most people would say Ledger by far without even thinking twice about it, but it's not because of nostalgia or because he's the one I grew up with or watched more or whatever. I think that he's closer to what I liked about the Joker in the comics. Don't get me wrong, Ledger was a fantastic performance. I think overall, the acting-wise, he might have been better, because, let's face it, Nicholson kind of just played himself, but he can play that type of character really well. Overall, I think Nicholson, he was perma-white, he actually had the buzzers, the razor sharp playing cards, the laughing gas. That doesn't have anything to do with his performance, but I like the way he was portrayed better. I like the look better. Acting-wise, a lot of people say he was too goofy and comedic, but no, the scene where he's talking to that corpse, the guy just killed in the boardroom, that gives me chills every time. That was pretty sinister. The fact that he laughs and says, "I'm glad you're dead," and thinks it's all a big joke. People forget that scene when they talk about Nicholson's Joker. So again, they're both great in different ways. I'm going to give it to Nicholson by a little bit. Just by a little bit. Question number 7. Who is a killer clown? I'm sorry. If you were a killer clown, what would you look like? That's a good question. Probably something like a kind of an evil Ronald McDonald. He's the scariest clown of all. And yes, he's killed far more people than Pennywise and Art the Clown combined. No. With the fast food, what would I look like? I don't know. I'd probably have like one of the fake, big red clown noses, you know, the rubber nose, and my face would be painted. And I actually have a clown mask around here somewhere I should have pulled out for this video, but I look like a typical evil clown, I guess. Just, you know, something like Sweet Tooth from Twisted Metal, maybe. You know, typical evil clown. Question number 8. Would you be the loud, witty kind of killer clown or the creepy, silent type? Creepy, silent. Definitely. I think that's scarier overall. And number 9, the final question. What would your clown name be? How about Chuckles? Chuckles the clown. Oh yeah. Alright guys, well that was WackJob's Clown Tag from the Random Horror Channel. It's tagged by Sean Erschen. Be sure to check out both channels. Killer clowns need to be done more in movies. Thank you for watching, and probably the next video I'll do is my top 10 horror franchises, which I know should make for some interesting discussions. So look out for that one, and also don't be sure to check out my new show, The Blood Spattered Trio. We just did our first episode a few days ago, and it's on Sean Ershen's channel. So it's not on this channel. It's not on the Horror Metal channel. It's part of the Horror Corner, Sean Ershen's channel. So be sure to check that out. Be sure to check that out if you haven't already. All right, guys, I'm Hellhound. Later.